Hi guys, I promised you a video for a very simple 15-minute strategy. Well, basically this is it. Right, I'm not gonna do the weekly review this week, guys. I've been decorating at home and the place is a bombs at the moment, plus lack of time and obviously, and I think Anissa's producing a video as well, so I don't want to give you too much next week. Okay, so right, 15-minute signals. Okay, I realise that some people in the room are struggling with timing, and maybe the 5-minute scalping system's not for you. Maybe you need something more more solid. I mean, when you look at the scalpers in the room, they're all itchy trigger fingers, BR, Benny, Jules, myself, and there are also long-term traders in the room like Amo and Hans who are trying their hands at it, but we also have the kind of middle-of-the-road traders as well. It's quite unnerving that both females, Lady Jacqueline and Lady Mercy, are of course the best at it. So I'm going to just give you that kind of system, that kind of strategy that, and it's going to take away a lot of the clutter and all. I know there's a lot involved in trading, but it's not. We try and make it as simple as possible. And this 15-minute system, it just couldn't be any easier. If you can't do this, guys, then quit trading. Okay, right. So basically, the first thing we do it's exactly the same as scalping. The 5-minute signals. You need to know what direction you're going in. Okay, so you look at your 1 and 4 hour charts. These are the GU here. I'm going to go over 4 trades with you now and show you what happened. Okay, so these are the GU 1 hour. This is the 1 hours here. These are the 4 hour charts, and this is the GU. Okay, so now you can quite clearly see the trend was down. Alright, now I know at some point there was I think there was a yellow signal. It might have been on this one here and then disappeared, and there was a 4 hour red pink. This is Thursday's chart, by the way, guys, but that disappeared, and it disappeared, right, and the thing with that is that it would have been a strong bias that if we'd have gone up above this orange line here on the 1 hour, but we never got above it. It went close to it, and then you can quite clearly see it's not actually touched, but it's very close to it, and then the trends took over again. Okay, so trending down. Okay, so we're looking for 15-minute signal down. There it is. Okay, alright, so obviously you still need momentum. You've got the touch or virtual touch of the orange line there. You've got your 15-minute signal, and you just want the flashing red momentum to get in. Okay, if you want confirmation, just see what's happened on the 5-minute chart, and these two signals here are actually this candle prior to it. You see it there. So a lot of people would have said, right, I'm getting in here. The ultra scalpers, your BRs and that would have been in and won a trade by there, and then taking another one down. All right. So you had this move down, okay, which is these 3 candles here, and then it comes up against you. Okay, you can quite clearly see on this green candle here. Well, that green candle is this green candle and these 2 red candles. Okay, that's why it's gone up a bit, touched the line and come down. Okay, on the next candle, 15-minute candle, it went right up here. Now, I don't know if you recall, I did mention that if we got a 15-minute up, it was going to go up and burst through that line, but we never got a 15-minute up. Okay, so at the moment you're still in this trade because you didn't get a 15-minute up. Okay, right, and then this happened. Look, on the 5s, bang down. All right, so basically, I'll just recap what you should have done there. Is you were looking for the 15-minute signal. Once you got near to or hit this line, once that 4 hour red pink disappeared or the 1 hour yellow disappeared, start looking for a 15-minute signal down. Okay, because the trend was going to continue. Right, that move down, there's a wick here. I don't know if you can just move it in a bit. You can see it, there's a wick here. Okay, now that would have been your exit, right? And the reason that would have been your exit is that this was right outside the BB bands, okay, and you know, it started pushing back up quite big. So that would have been my exit there at the bottom of that BB, at the bottom of that wick, or it starts coming back up. I'd have said, right, I'm getting out now, and set whatever. Now that move, I think it was 50 pips. You know, the full move there down was 50 pips, give or take a few pips. And I mean, if you'd done that right, you could have took 40 pips. Yeah. Okay. So let's just, you know, have a look at the EU. Very similar, very similar. In fact, this one pierced. If you look on the 1 hour here, it pierced the orange line, and then look what happened. Right, look what happened. There's no signals. I'll just show you something here. There's no signals here, right, other than these two blues. Now these blues warn you that a move might be coming, okay, but there's no 1 hour signal here to tell you that this is going up. Okay, right, so back to the EU again. Yeah, so you're touching the orange line. Let's look for a 15-minute signal. Yeah, we had one, a red, and look at that. That's right on the BB band, or level with the BB band there. It's coming back down again there. You can see that's another good sign. Okay, that move was 40 odd pips. If you'd have stayed until that signal appeared there, that would be your exit. You see that signal as well, for me, because you've got the GU correlating with the EU and the UJ all correlating, that tells me that the DX is driving these trades. Okay, and the appearance of one signal there and a signal there would have said, right, might be time to get out the GU as well. Okay, so that move was 40 odd pips. Alright, so let's say you took 30 pips on that trade. Right, let's have a look at the UJ. Big uptrend. You know, I know this signal wasn't here, I know this daily wasn't here, and I know this 4 hour wasn't here at the time. I'm not even sure if this was here at the time, but you still had that 1 hour, and you still had the bounce off the orange line on an uptrend. Okay, and there you go. There you go. 15-minute signal appeared. You could get confirmation off your 5 minute. This would have already been going up, and I think that was 40 odd pips. So let's again say you took 30 pips on that. So far, you know, through 3 trending pinks with just touching off the orange lines on, you know, 3 1 hour charts, plus the appearance of the 15-minute signal, you've got 100 pips of 3 trades. Okay, the UCAD's a little different. I'll tell you why that's a little different, right? First of all, right, when I came in the room, just to mention what these are actually, right? This, if for those of you that don't know, this is a MIM. This is a MIM. When you have a candle with an arrow above it or below it, could be going up, and then a candle in between, and then another candle with an arrow pointing in the same direction as the first, that's a MIM, a monkey in the middle. Okay, now for those of you that didn't or can't recall this, there was actually another green candle here just before this candle, and before that there was another red candle with another of these signals pointing down. So that effectively was a double MIM, and I can tell you now they are strong, very strong. Alright, not only that, at the time of this appeared, right, because of these MIMs keeping the price, you know, down here, and it's trying to go, this appeared, this red yellow on the 1 hour, and it was right on the BB band as well. Okay, so that was a lovely trade, guys, and I think it's 30 odd pips down that one. Okay, so we'll say you took 25 off that. Alright, 125 pips, 4 trades, 125 pips. Now just after this appeared, you got this 5 minute up signal. Okay, now what I should have pointed out is that the trend, you know, is messy. Look at the 1 hour, it's messy. It's really hard to read what direction we're going on the 1 hour. I know the 4 hours downtrending, but again, it's, you know, there's wicks involved, and it's really messy. Alright, so that to me says you could go both ways. Okay, so for me at the moment, I would be thinking about this red and saying, right, what other reasons are there for me to take this up? What points in favour of this being, you know, a good trade? Okay, well, the first thing, we're on the BB band. The second thing is we've got a blue next to it. Okay. The third thing is we're bouncing off the BB band on 1 hour. Alright, and you know what these bounces do, right? And if I needed more confirmation, which I certainly wouldn't have from there, I would have looked on the 5-minute chart and look what you had. You had a blue, red there, and then you had this red, pink, and that would have been going up. You know, so that was a valid trade as well. Okay, all the way up to your exit point, which would have been the appearance of that signal there, and then we could have exited the trade there. It was 40 odd pips, guys, so let's say you took 30 on that. Alright, so now let's just have a quick recap. Right, you've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, and you've done 155 pips. Let's say your timing is still lousy. Okay, you could have easily taken 120 pips there on 5 very, very, very simple trades. They're not your short-term trades, admittedly. They're not like, you know, you see a signal, bang, you're in and out inside a minute. These were big, long trades because you're waiting for the next signal, right? And I mean, this one on the GU was an hour. The one on the EU was an hour and 15 minutes. The one on the UJ was an hour and 15 minutes. And then you had half an hour for this one and another hour for that. But 5 trades, you look at the session there, you could have taken 5 trades and done over 100 pips. The other point I'll make out, and this this is, you know, brilliant. I think this is what you might like about it, those that are struggling with the scalping. Apart from where the GU went up here a little bit, okay, and you'd have been panicking a bit because it might have gone a few against you, none of these trades went against you at any single point. Not one of these trades. They just continued to go up or down. Okay, so you'd have never at any point, other than, as I said, maybe a little bit with the GU, been in a deficit. Okay. Again, I'll just recap. I mean, it's quite simple. You're looking for trend, or you're looking for 15-minute signals when you hit the lines. All right, and you're looking for, you know, whether it's trends like the GU, which was down, the EU, which was down, the UJ, which was up, right? Or you're looking for a bias, and I'll just explain about bias in a minute, right? And you're looking for a bias, and the UCAD would have been a bias. You'd have had, you know, the trend down with a bias, and then a bounce off the 1 hour with, you know, this correlation of signals here. Again, always use momentum for entry, guys, by the way. Right, so I'll just show you what a strong bias can do. Okay, exactly what a strong bias is. This was well, 7 or 8 minutes after the numbers came out on NFP, and we're not here to look at these charts, although I will show you in a moment. Look at the 1 and 4 hours. Okay, look at these 1 and 4 hours here. GU, look at this. That is a really, really, really strong bias. Red pink on 1 hour, red pink on 4 hour. Okay, EU, red pink on 1 hour, yellow blue on 4 hour. Yes, it's, you know, it wasn't as strong as the GU, but nevertheless still strong. The UJ, which we knew was uptrending, you know, very big, but look what this bias has done. Look, red pink on the 1 hour and this yellow here. Look what it's done. It's forced it right down. And of course the UCAD, red, yellow, pink on the 1 hour, and look, it's smashed it right out of the BB band, as you can see on the 15-minute there. Alright, again, let's have a look a bit later on. This was an hour later. This was an hour later, and look what this strong bias has done. Look, can you see it? You know, yes, The EU's different, as I told you. You're getting blues there and blues there. It's still gone up, as you can quite clearly see there. It's still gone up, but you know, it's still very strong. You know, plus you even got a daily at some point as well. There you go. UJ, look at that. Whack. That was on that candle. Now it's on this candle. And look, yellow's took it straight through. This is the strength of a bias, guys, of a really strong bias. What I will tell you about the GU, by the way, is that this initial 15-minute signal here eventually went up 85 pips, right before it was time to get out. 85 pips. Alright, you're talking one trade there for 85 pips. I think the EU went up about 50, UJ down about 40. UCAD was a bit different. It's not just driven by the dollar. It's got issues with oil. But again, because of this, you may have been able to get both ways in. Alright, so again on NFP, you'd have just followed the 15-minute signals with a strong bias this time instead of trend. You know, you made a fortune. Okay guys, as I say, I'm not going to bother with the weekly this week. I'm a bit too busy, and I don't think you need to be watching 2 or 3 videos next week. I know Anissa's putting one out, so plus BR's just put a load out. So just try this. What I want you to do is, those who are struggling, just try this. Either you demo it or you trade it for small amounts or whatever, and log your scores, log your results, and then we'll discuss it next Friday. Okay? Alright guys, just run out.